We are here today in Belgrade, Serbia. We're going to explore the city, check out the fortress, and see what else we can get up to. It is hot today. It's 10 in the morning. It's 30 degrees. First, we need to get something to eat. This bakery has all sorts of beautiful sandwiches and meat and cheese snack baked items.
Yeah. Do you know what you want?
Yeah, I want one of these ones.
It says meat. Meat.
Here.
One.
And one over here.
And one over.
This one is meat? Meat? Yeah. Fine. Vala.
Okay, this is called, I think, a kifta. It's filled with meat. First bite's all bread. It's kind of a ground meat and onion filling. Very oniony. Has some caraway seeds on top. Good bit of meat inside. I would have one again.
Okay, and I've got some of this sort of typical burek that you find always here. So the pastry here is not as light and flaky as it is in some other countries. It's a little more doughy, a bit more greasy. It tastes like a sausage roll. It's warm, it's fresh. It's a good start to the day. So to get to the fortress, you just go in behind the National Museum. There's a large pedestrian walkway that stretches for several blocks. And actually this area at night is just hopping. There's all sorts of cafes, live music buskers, restaurants. All the side streets are filled with tables and chairs. It really comes alive at night. This area for sure has a lot of tourists in it. People speaking all sorts of different languages. So the fortress in Belgrade is the #1 tourist attraction in Belgrade. And as you can see, there's a lot of people coming here today. I don't know if they close it at night or if it's just open all the time. In the summer where it's so hot and busy, it's probably best to come here at like 7 in the morning, maybe to avoid the crowds.
The Belgrade Fortress sits high on a cliff in the urban center of the city, at the confluence of the Sava and Danube rivers. Its site history goes back to nearly 300 years BC. The fortress is a significant cultural monument and is protected as a monument of culture of exceptional importance to the Republic of Serbia. Over 2 million tourists a year visit the site. Entering by the main gate, you will find the Belgrade Military Museum. Located in the fortress walls, it includes an exterior display of tanks, howitzers, missile systems, and more. Inside the museum, you will find an exceptional collection of ancient and modern items. This is a Yugoslav-made SAM-3 missile launcher. During the Kosovo War in 1999, the Yugoslav army took down an F-117 Nighthawk stealth attack jet, as well as an F-16 fighter jet using this system. Parts of that F-117 are on display at the museum. That is the only F-117 ever lost in combat, and one of only 4 F-16s that have ever been lost by the U.S. Air Force. Entering through one of the many fortress gates, you will find a lush green space with walking paths and many trees. There are many interesting things to see as you move throughout the sprawling grounds. There are two churches that are a must-see while you are here. Ruzica Church and St. Petka's Church. The view from above over the rivers is just amazing.
So this fortress is just massive. It's really outstanding. There's no charge to get in. There are some special exhibits you can pay to look at, but other than that, it's free. The inside has been turned into essentially a park, and lots of shade in the trees, and just outstanding views around the city of Belgrade. What do you think of the fortress here?
There's a lot to see. It covers a lot of area, and I'm inside the gates. There's actually not a lot inside but park. I mean, there's a few remnants of walls and stuff, but there's a couple of churches, and it's interesting to have a poke around.
This is Pobednik, the Victor Monument. This 14-meter high monument was erected in 1928. It was built to commemorate Serbia's victory over the Ottoman and Austro-Hungarian empires during the Balkan and First World Wars. Cast in bronze, the male figure holds a sword in one hand and a falcon in the other, representations of both war and peace.
All right, well, that is really one impressive fortress in terms of size, and its location is just stunning. So if you're coming in here on a hot day, bring some water with you. We brought water, but we didn't bring enough, and we are roasting.
Whew.
So really, this walking pedestrian area right in the downtown of Belgrade is just awesome. We were down here yesterday. It's in the video that's from the prior day. There's really great shopping here. Great people watching. The best time is at night, though. What did you think of last night?
Last night was pretty incredible. There was a ton of street musicians out. You couldn't go more than about 50 meters without running into more music. Lots of people walking around. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, in the middle of the day here, especially in the heat, there's not a lot of people out compared to the evenings. And you get the locals come out and the tourists are here. And it's jammed, especially with the weather being so nice. All your cafe bars. And then you have the classic tour groups with the guys holding the stick up in the air so nobody gets lost from the group. And I know we've said that the architecture here is just stunning, but in terms of Balkan countries that we've seen so far, this is a beautiful place. The buildings are all unique, detailed. So one of the services that exists here in Belgrade is a service called Wolt, and it's like an app you use that you can have delivery, pick up food and stuff. It's kind of like what we would have at home would be Skip the Dishes or Uber Eats. You can do that. They do have a taxi app as well. They don't have Uber here, but another good thing about Serbia is that credit cards are widely accepted, unlike many other Balkan countries. If you're in Albania, Montenegro, oftentimes at smaller places it's cash only. Here, credit cards are widely accepted. So it's nice to not be so reliant on having to take out foreign cash all the time. You can keep track of your expenses a lot easier with credit cards. When you're traveling full time, you definitely need to keep on top of your expenses. and we record our expenses throughout the day as we go, and then we're able to categorize them later so that we can review and see kind of what's going on. It's important. Definitely we found that, you know, taking this short trip to Serbia really increases your expenditures over you know, staying in one spot at an Airbnb where you're able to cook your meals at home, and you know, you're not feeling like you need to be outside all the time. So if you're new to our channel or you're watching for the first time today, welcome. Obviously we're Jay and Sarah. We're traveling the world full time. We retired early, left North America, and we've been traveling since the beginning of the year roughly, and spending most of our time in the Balkans so far. Some of you know that it's hard to find English language books when you're on the road in some of these countries, and one of Sarah's big pastimes is reading, so she's found a pretty large bookstore here that looks like it has a good selection of English language books, so we'll see if she comes out with something. So as suspected, Sarah's gone into the bookstore, found that half of the store actually has English books, and has come out with some shopping.
Okay, so Belgrade has a ton of bookstores, and lots of them are really big. And so I figured the chance of getting English language books would be pretty good. They had a big selection, so I bought 3, which is really 5. So I have a murder mystery, Nobel Prize winning book, a trilogy, 3 books in 1. So hopefully this is enough to keep me entertained for a while.
Now let's ask the important question. What was the damage on that purchase?
Damage was 5,123 dinar, about $62.50 Canadian, I think.
So one thing I had to pick up this morning, I've been a little sick lately. I've got some respiratory stuff going on, so I thought I'm gonna go to the pharmacy. And pharmacies here, not like at home, you can get all sorts of prescription medicine over the counter. You tell the pharmacist what's going on, they ask you some questions, and they give you the drugs. They're not that bad as far as price. They explain everything to you. There'll always be someone in there who speaks some English. You don't need to produce any ID. I'm sure that there's some things that are limited in what they will give out, but for basic things that you need for your health, there's no problem. People in the Balkans, very family oriented, love to spend social time outdoors on patios with their friends. I think a lot of people would have a hard time moving to North America where that culture just isn't existing in as much volume as it does places here. I mean, there's just, you've never seen so many coffee shops in your life and people sitting at them for hours on end. It's nice to see. Yeah, so, you know, one of the other things that we were talking about is that anybody coming to the Balkans from the West really needs to educate themselves about the history of what has happened in this region as best as possible. It's important to know. It's important to be educated on it. You can certainly gain more understanding of it when you're here, but if you have absolutely no idea about the history, you really run yourself at risk of saying something really wrong. So you got Indian clothing, Japanese restaurant. So much going on in this city. This city has a really, really, really good transit system. There's buses and trolleys going everywhere all the time. It's quite a bit of congestion in the city, but yeah, overall it's a nice place. I really like this. Well, we were gonna go to the Bohemian district, but we're a little confused as to where to go. We don't have Google Maps, and to be honest, we're so hot we can't walk anymore. So all right, we are out on the streets of Belgrade in the evening, 7 o'clock. It's really hot, 30 degrees, and we're looking for some dinner. What are we looking for? Authentic food. Pleskovica, kajmak. No, we are actually looking for...
India.
That's right. We are looking for Indian curry. So there is a wide range of cuisine in Belgrade, Serbia. We've already had Chinese food. We've even been to McDonald's. We've had some local food. Today, we're looking for some Indian food for dinner. So we're in Republic Square, right downtown. There's some kind of protest going on here. Something about genocide. What have we got here? So there's lots of police here. You just have to keep back from where the protest is happening. There's probably 50 police here tonight. We have found Indian food. Biryani Central. Beautiful.
I know what some of you are thinking. What kind of foreigner comes to Belgrade, Serbia and looks for Indian food? Stupid tourists? Hear me out. We have ate lots of local food throughout the Balkans in the last 5 months. Belgrade is the first city where we have found an Indian restaurant. Who doesn't love pakoras? Served with tamarind and chutney, this mix of chicken and vegetable pakoras were incredibly tasty. Samosas? Heck yeah! We had veggie and chicken. This is a staple of any Indian restaurant and is one of the most enjoyed street foods in India. Chicken curry with rice. Such a flavor explosion. Too bad they did not have roti available. The spicing was very good, the heat level medium. Prices were reasonable and the service quick. They do lots of delivery orders. We enjoyed eating here.
All right, so that was pretty decent Indian food. What do you think there, Sarah?
Yeah, not too bad.
So we're just gonna head back to where our hostel is. So I think we'll call it a day.